Yes, friends, this is Rich Sheikh, and I'm here with Web3 Crypto Series. This will be the third discussion of our crypto series. So, we need to really see that when Oracle, SAP, and Microsoft came up with enterprise systems, what was their focus? Why did SAP thought that they need to come with ERP system, or even Microsoft and many others? Part of the reason is that certain companies have certain focus, like Oracle's focus was database, whereas SAP's focus and bread and butter was focus on the process, whereas Microsoft came up with a better GUI interface. And also Microsoft, because people were already using Microsoft suites everywhere, it's a lot easier to interact, a lot easier to implement, and a lot cheaper to implement that software. Certainly that was not Microsoft's focus, so hence it was not as robust as SAP and Oracle's are. But nevertheless, Web3 is a totally barren land. There is really no such system. Web3 and crypto has to sustain, then really they need to have a better interaction system, and hence a better system than just quote unquote Discord. Yes, there are lots of blockchains, there are lots of platforms to interact, but there is really no system where companies can manage their resources, their projects, and their partners. So yes, they could come up with an enterprise-wide system. These are some of the companies are billion-dollar companies, so they can easily develop their own software. However, that again is not their focus. So that's the reason company who would have infrastructure and Metaprise focus, they would be the right people to come up with the right system. And if they have the experience of understanding the processes and automating the processes, building the modules, and creating efficiency in the process. If they don't know themselves and if they do not have the experience from Web2 world on process efficiency and process development and process documentation, then they cannot really create any such resource management system. So when I call it Metaprise, interactive system, it is not just resource management, and that's the reason we did not call it Metaprise resource management. We call it Metaprise interactive system. Why? Because it's both inward and outward. It helps manage the resources and the projects, databases and finances and HR and all kind of processes and products with the Metaprise system within a company, plus it also helps you interact with the other companies. Why did we do that? Because in crypto world, the lines are very blurry. Because you are dealing with DAOs. Most of the companies have DAO structure, decentralized autonomous organizations, where really they don't have lots and lots of employees. Hence, they have more and more companies have owners, so to speak. They are community members, and that is the way to go in the future. I know not all companies are DAO structured, but that is where the trend is going. And honestly, if you really look at the crypto disruption, how did they disrupt this entire organization structure? Is basically they have a blockchain technologies that offer security. B, they have tokenization, hence that offer big project ownership at a very small scale. And then C, it has decentralized autonomous organizational structure where everybody is an owner, so there's no slavery. Like in old organizations and old structure, you have to be very, very rich to own a big asset. B, you have to be really very highly qualified at the top of the food chain to be a decision maker. Whereas in DAO structure, everybody is equal. So that is a true democracy. And that is really what happens there when you have that environment. Then basically it gives you all the wisdom and potential of every single person in the community. How did ancient people develop so many medicines and technologies and all that? How did they do that? Why? Because they didn't believe in a slavery mindset, so to speak, especially in education, where you only do what your boss tells you to do. Yes, of course, there was caste system. I'm not saying there was no caste system. But once you are in the educational environment, all those people who have came up with amazing technologies, whether that is the space or whether those are, technologies in mirroring or eyesight or in medicine, in space, in any kind of other technologies, people who have developed, they have the environment where everybody was equal and everybody was given an opportunity to speak and discuss things and develop things freely. So yes, I understand there's a lot of freedom in the organization nowadays, but still you have a lot of hierarchy. Whereas in the DAO structure, you break all those layers and you do not have a lot of hierarchy. And that's the reason in DAO structure, everybody can participate and shine and develop products. Instead of, if this is a company of 3,000 people, so it's not just 100 people or 200 people or 1,000 people developing. Matter of fact, every single community member is an owner and they are developing. And they don't really work 8 to 5, but they can work at any time. It's a beauty, and that's exactly where we are heading. We are heading toward decentralized structures, we are heading toward tokenization, and we are heading toward blockchain. These are three things which are helping the disruption. So disruption is going to happen. No matter what, nobody can stop this now. So there is a huge potential. What we have to do, and all those people who are visionary and those who believe in that vision, they are called early adopters. They are always the early adopters of a technology. They are the one who disrupt, and hence they become the winners. Take example of any innovation. Who really won? Those companies and people and products really won who actually had the first mover advantage. Why did Tesla really became the number one electric car? Because they started very early on the battery technology, and hence you saw that they basically led the whole industry. Yes, now everybody is working on it. Likewise, you see the cell phones, you see any other technology. So early mover advantage is always there, and that happens with the vision. So our vision here is at Study Stack that we badly need a good Metaprise interactive system that can help manage the resources, the projects, the processes, and that can also help interact not just within your organization but toward with the entire ecosystem. So that's the reason we call it Metaprise interactive system instead of calling Metaprise resource management. It's not only resource management, but it creates interaction. Now you might say that we have a Discord and we can manage. Yes, we have it, but it's extremely limited, system. What we need to do is much bigger system, and then we need to have databases in that as well. So that's the reason we start with Stack ID, because that really is your major database. It's one-stop shop and secure place for multi-chain repository for all kind of assets in any wallet. So it will help you manage your entire asset suites at one place, no matter which chain they are on. Likewise, you have the deal flow system, a module where you could run your entire deal flow from any company on that system. And then you have a module for mergers and acquisitions. Then you have module for real world assets RWAs management. Then you have module for mining operations and mining automation. So you have different modules, and there are a lot of other modules. I'm not talking about it because I can't talk about everything right now. But we are developing an infrastructure that can help companies manage their resources, their projects, their products, their clients, their customers, and their partners all are the same place. And then they can not just interact within the boundary of their enterprise, but they can interact freely with the entire Metaprise. All the enterprises can interact. So that's really what our focus is, and that's the reason we are developing this entire infrastructure and ecosystem. This will help develop those verticals as well and manage those verticals, while this will also help develop the highway for the businesses to run their business. So it's not just for Steady Stack, but it could easily be white label and used for everybody else. So that's kind of what I want to kind of talk today, and we'll continue in this series and keep answering some questions. If you have any other questions or comments, feel free to also send me a DM at Richvmax. I'm happy to answer either here or one-to-one as you like. Thank you.